This is Pokémon Gym Manager, a game where you play as a gym leader, and every single day you have to try to survive and make it all the way to 100 days. The game is really difficult and we only have 3 attempts. If we lose one day, a single battle, we have to reset from the beginning. So if you guys are ready, let's get started. So we start off the game, and of course Gym Manager is a very strange game. You start in this city where you are going to be the manager of a gym. This girl in front of us is going to be our assistant. She's going to be the person that's going to show us around Pebble Town, where we're going to be the gym manager. We need to hire trainers. We need to basically figure out the battles. But one of the things you will notice in this game is that, well, the way the battles work is actually up to you. You can either let the AI, the literal like CPU, the computer, play for you, or you have to do it yourself. You also get to choose a typing. I go for flying type this first time. This is all randomized, by the way, because this game is also a roguelike. Yes, it's a roguelike game, which means that each time you play it, it will reset and be different every time you do a new run, which is why if we lose a single battle with all of our different trainers, it's over. So when we go in here and take on this burglar, he has a shiny Absol as well as a few other Pokemon, but luckily we don't even need to do anything. As you can see, I don't actually have to do the battling myself. The computer does it for you. Now, I did this on my first attempt. Like I said, we're doing 3 different attempts at this, and every time we lose one battle, we have to reset. But you know what's better than resetting? This segue to our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Teemu. Now, Teemu is an online marketplace that has competitively priced products of all sorts of categories. Now, the thing with Teemu is they have a bunch of awesome things you guys can get your hands on. The best thing, of course, is a Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch game tech. A bunch of different stuff you can get your hands on, accessories, video games, and of course, even consoles. And the biggest one is the fact that they currently offer a Nintendo Switch OLED. Yes, a Nintendo Switch OLED, which you guys can get up to $100 savings on. So what you got to do, well, basically, if you get these Nintendo Switch OLED and you find it on the website, you can then apply our $100 coupon bundle, which can be used for new users to get your hands on a Nintendo Switch OLED for only $259, which is a big discount if you know how much Switches usually cost. So you get one for $259, which is pretty great, and you also have amazing deals that just are must-have for Switch games. And there's loads of other stuff you can find on Teemu, anywhere from just getting your hands on an OLED screen protector. If you guys want to get your hands on a Switch OLED right now, as well as I'm guessing in this case, if you want Breath of the Wild, you guys can get it for way cheaper, and using our coupon bundle code down below, you guys can get up to $100 in discounts. So yeah, use our link down below to get exclusive prices for the Nintendo Switch games. Keep in mind, Teemu also offers free shipping and a free return for up to 90 days. And of course, if you have any questions, you guys can always contact Teemu support if you have any issues. But overall though, guys, this is a great offer for you to get your hands on a bunch of Nintendo Switch games for cheaper. Check out the link down below, and thank you for Teemu for sponsoring. Also, after winning every gym day, you get these different rewards. You can either hire a new trainer, which is what I did, for example. So we hired a new guy to the squad, and then we get into day 2, because the game works day by day. We head back to the gym as well as explore around the actual city, where we discovered this lady right here. If we talk to her, we can actually buy Pokemon from her, but we don't have enough money to do that right now. We can return here later. Also, every day those Pokemon will get randomized, so you can find different options every single time. We also explored a forest, and we find this one place where, well, there's not really much to see, and the guy here in this store has actually gone fishing. Either way, we head back inside of the gym and take on another day worth of challenges. Now, these challenges, like I said, there's multiple of them, and they're random. You get a random amount of them, except after a few days, you will get another gym leader or special challenge that will come and take you on. However, what happens on this specific day right here is that, well, we take down one guy, but we still have a few more battles to go. We actually lose our first squad. So basically, you have your gym leader trainer who has different Pokemon, but you also have gym trainers, like actual trainers in the gym who will fight for you. So if you lose your first team, you can use the second team to save you. So, but however, if you lose both of them, it's pretty much over. So you see right here, we have a Shellman. Now you guys remember, we chose flying type, right? But the thing is, we also got to hire a new gym leader, and I think this one's called Hannah. However, Hannah is not really doing the best of jobs. Either way, we get to boost one of our stats here or add a Pokemon to our team, but we decide to boost our flying type moves, and so it's a brand new day. As we head back inside of the gym, well, we have 2 things to do. We got our gym leader, which we are playing as, Hannah, Hannah, as well as one of our gym trainers, which I think was a picnicker or something, that's working for us. And we're in here again, letting the, just the AI do its own thing, right? Take on all the battles, defeat everybody, and there's a lot of different trainers you gotta battle. This is very much a game, almost like an auto clicker game. You kind of just let it do its own thing if you want to, except if you want to take control, which is what I do on a bit of a different timing in this video, because in the beginning, I just let the game play on its own because I didn't realize if that was what I was meant to do or if I should be playing on my own. But eventually you will realize that maybe the AI that plays the game for you isn't always the smartest. It doesn't always make the best moves unless you've kind of upgraded your character level. Like, for example, right here, you guys can see you can increase a trainer's skill. This helps with the AI because it will just kind of make them a bit better and stronger, but also makes your character better in general. So you guys can see here, we got Morgan and Hannah. So Morgan is the gym leader that we're playing as, and Hannah is our backup trainer, the person who helps us in the gym, and also the person we can use in battle if Hannah loses. So this is just very important to remember. If we lose both Hannah and also Morgan, we have lost the gym and we have to reset from the beginning. And that's something that does end up happening eventually. However, in the start though, we do make good progress with these two. They're able to actually do most of the work thanks to like Pokemon like Cherubi here, who just comes in clutch, except this Tropius was very dangerous, but somehow we managed to survive it, and somehow the AI was able to win this. Next up though is again the Tropius, because we lost the first team, so we had to use the second team of Morgans, who actually has a Slugma on the squad, and here, well, we used Yawn to make it fall asleep and just used a bunch of Embers, which eventually worked out in our favor. However, though, there are still a few battles we have to actually do. This battle, for example, is against a trainer that has a Zorua, as well as a few other Pokemon that are just really, really difficult to defeat. But, again, with the help of Morgan having those extra Pokemon, which are mixed up, because remember, the gym leader will have a specific typing, but the gym trainers can have all kinds of variety of Pokemon. So, just keep that in mind. Either way though, we get to upgrade our gym again. We can either evolve a Pokemon, we can increase our skill level, or we can get a random Pokemon added to our party. And I decided to add a random Pokemon to our squad because I thought, hey, that would probably be a cool thing to do. So that's exactly what we do. And I think we got a Carnivine. It's now day 5 and it's time to head back inside of the gym. We go again in and take on just a bunch of different challenges. There's a bunch of different trainers that come here daily trying to take you down. This time around though, we did struggle a little bit more because this last trainer, she had, well, an interesting combination of Pokemon. Cranidos is just a pain to deal with. We didn't really have a lot of like things to work with. We did have Snivy though, and eventually we do take him down as well. However, Miltank, well, this thing, I mean, dude, I did not miss this thing from Johto. Miltank can just go and burn for all I care. This thing is just so difficult, but we did have Bite, so we took it down as well, leaving only one more opponent before we can end our 5th day at work. Psychic Brianna comes in, we take her down, and now we get another upgrade. This time around, though, we can either get a Piplup, a random Pokemon, or just increase the skill of our trainers. I think I decided to go for the Piplup here. I could be wrong, but I think we went for the Piplup. But no, actually went for the random Pokemon. We got a Deerling, which, yeah, I wasn't really happy about that. Now it's either way, it's day 6. We're gonna go back inside of the gym and keep our grind going. The goal here is to try to make it to 100 days if we can, and we only have 3 attempts to do this. So we're trying our hardest, but some of these battles do get relatively difficult after a while, and it's really hard to like know what's gonna happen since basically AI is doing most of the work. Like the actual computer is doing all these battles, so I don't know what the Carnivine's gonna go for. I'm more or less just observing these battles and making sure that every time we get an upgrade that I go for the right upgrade and not the wrong one. So I just have very little power in this situation. Our Ducklet falls though, and now we have to rely on the rest of our squad. Carnivine though goes in for the Bite, which is perfect, and we have pretty much defeated that girl. However, this Spiritomb was painful. It took down, I think, pretty much our first team. So Hannah, our gym leader, she lost a full team in the beginning, and Deerling, as you may remember, was one of the Pokemon added to our squad. Well, it didn't really stand much of a chance, but it was able to somehow defeat the Spiritomb just towards the end though, giving us just enough time that we can actually take on the final trainer. However, this person had a Zangoose, and let me put it like this. Zangoose is strong. Zangoose takes down Hannah's squad, so we have to use the other squad, Morgan's squad, one of the picnickers that's one of our trainers. However, this doesn't work out. Girafarig comes in, and this thing sweeps through Morgan's team, and we have actually lost our first attempt. Yes, this is actually our first loss here. I didn't realize it at first, but yes, when you lose you actually have to start a new game. You have to start all the way from scratch, and that's exactly what we do. So we make a new run, and this time I decide to go, okay, you know what? Maybe it's better to go a different typing. So we go for Psychic type, and you can see right here what happens. She specifically calls up and hires a new person. This time it's going to be Thomas. So the gym leader's name is going to be Thomas, and he's going to be the gym leader of this place. We check out his team, and he's got an interesting combination of Pokemon in there, right? He's got himself a Stunky, he's got like some other Pokemon there, and I also changed the settings so that I'm the one playing now. As you guys can see right there, you actually get to choose, you want the game to play for you, or do you want to be the player? This time around though, I wanted to be the player. However, this time around, it's also double battles, and I'm going to tell you right now, I hate these. I am not a big fan of double battles. I don't think they're fun. I think they're boring, but you have to do it anyways, because the battles in this game are random. It's not really something you can choose. You kind of have to just roll with the punches. Sometimes it will be single battles, sometimes it'll be double battles. Sometimes you have to battle 6 trainers in like one day, and then the next day you only have to do 1. It's a bit randomized to make it feel more like a roguelike game. However, at the end here, we get to hire a new trainer. So Kayla joins our team. Kayla is going to be another one of these trainers that's going to be alongside us on this journey. It's now day 2, so we head back inside. It's time to do a little bit more rumbling. This time we actually do really well, and we get to add a Cyndaquil to our squad, so we're looking pretty solid going into day 3. However, this is again where a few problems are going to be arising. So we go in for another battle, and we start off, of course, as our gym leader. We're up against this lass named Jennifer. She's got an Archon. I'm going to tell you right now, this Archon I thought was going to be easy. Turned out, this thing basically swept through our full gym leader team. Every Pokemon we sent in was pretty much demolished. Like, nothing we used pretty much worked at all. It was able to take down almost everyone except Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime survived, but then there was a second Archon, and we stood no chance. Mr. Mime is out, so we only had Execute left to work with. And again, Execute was just barely able to skim through this battle. But remember, this was only the first trainer. There was still another one to go on this particular day. And this guy had a Bellsprout and a few of the Pokemon that, honestly, we just didn't stand a chance against. And eventually, we lost. Yes, we lost again. We had to start a new game. So, this was our second attempt already done. We are now on our third attempt trying to do our best. This time, I decided, okay, well, I'm going to go for Ice type. We could have also gone to Electric or Grass. Like I said, it's all random. And I go and check out the PC, which actually tells you which trainers you have to battle on every particular day. In this case, I learned that we had to take on Hiker Josh here, and so I go in and try to take it on just the best way I possibly can. First out on his end, though, is going to be the Rhyhorn. I still wonder why they call Rhyhorn Rhyhorn and not the other way around. Shouldn't this one be called Rhydon and the other one that has the bigger horn be called Rhyhorn? I always wonder what the deal is with Pokemon naming schemes. It's a little bit strange. Either way, we take him down as well as this like Ruin Alpha looking dude, and after that we get to choose another one of our rewards. This time we can either actually boost or hire a new person. So we hired Thomas to join our gym. I'm gonna be honest, you gotta be really smart about which one of these you choose, but eventually if you can kind of figure out the meta, you can do really well. On the second day, we have 2 more trainers that we have to battle. It's going to be a Lady Elizabeth. She has herself just a bunch of Grass-type Pokemon, so Skarmory is able to do most of the work. Keep in mind, we're supposed to be having an Ice-type team on our boy here, but the thing is, like I said, even the gym manager or assistant tells you that sometimes the trainers can kind of choose their own Pokemon. And our 2 most strong Pokemon are Skarmory and also a Snover. So just keep that in mind. Either way, we get another upgrade. I decide to not go for Togepi or Krabby and instead give us a random Pokemon. That ends up being a Durant. Durant's actually a really strong Pokemon in this case, really useful, and does come in clutch a lot of times. On the next day, though, we have taken on a few Electricians. This fella's got himself a team of electric types, but again, even though we do have Skarmory, that, you know, I expect it to do a lot of work here, we have to rely on our first Ice type, that being Snover in this case. And lucky for us, Snover does have a lot of moves that are very, very effective. For example, we can outspeed because I think we had Powder Snow and, it's just a very strong move. It doesn't outspeed necessarily, but we're able to outspeed because of the speed of our Pokemon. Next up, though, we're going to be upgrading a few things. The special attack of every Ice-type Pokemon will be increased by either 5 to 10%, which is actually really good. And if you check your save menu, you can actually see what percentage of your stats are currently increased, because over the course of multiple days, you'll get a lot of those stat bumps happening to you, making your team stronger and stronger. So definitely something to keep in mind if you are journeying through this game. Next up, though, we're taking on a Plusle, and this fella, well, again, we just struggle with Skarmory, but eventually, with a lot of, you know, tries and a lot of pecks, we are able to take it down, and another happy-go-lucky camper is done and dusted, which means we've taken down another day worth of challenges. This time we get to do a few upgrades. I go for skill level up by 2 on one of our trainers, and I do that on the gym leader himself, which is perfect because that makes him 2 levels stronger, which also means our Pokemon will be stronger as well. Just overall, it gives you a boost to your team. Next up though, he has himself a Charmander, the challenge we take on, and this one is relatively difficult to deal with. It wasn't the biggest deal of the world, but it was a little bit annoying because we do get quite damaged by that Ember, but keep in mind we still have a big team behind us in case we lose Skarmory, but we try to always go through as well as we can with just Skarmory in the beginning here. Next up though, Lapras comes in here. We go for the Fury attacks, but yeah, they don't really do a lot, so when the Ice Beam happens, we're just done and dusted. We have to use the rest of our squad, so we send in Snover, and lucky for us, we do have actually a, in this case, Grass-type move, and we're able to use that to take down the Lapras. Now, the Lapras is gone. We've taken down another one of these challenges, but he also has himself a Bagon. So we defeat it, and the Ace Trainer is done and dusted. With only one battle remaining, we defeat one of these, I think it was a Black Belt that we battled in this case. Actually, no, it was a Crush Girl, which is basically the same equivalent thing, but we take her down, and now we get another upgrade. This time around, the upgrades are a little bit different. I decide, well, you know what? We're going to go for the Ice-type special defense buff, because that could be useful. And so far, we've survived the same amount of days we did on day 1, which was technically 6 days, or rather on attempt 1, which was 6 days. So now we're on that brink of, okay, we've made it this far before. Will we lose again here, or will we actually make it? Because as you may notice, the game can be very unpredictable. There's a lot of moments where you think you're doing well and everything's going fine, and then you might just lose to one Pokemon that just has a very broken moveset, or just something that just totally counters everything you have. Again, if you play yourself, you'll have way more success than if you let the computer play for you. That's the biggest problem I had on my first attempt. I didn't realize that I could just play myself, that I could, you know, not let the computer do it for me. Nonetheless, though, we can now add a random Pokemon to our team, so I decide to do that again. But it turns out the second Pokemon is another Durant, which is a little bit weird, because now we have 2 of them. Like, what are the chances? So it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. We go in on day 7, and here, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to battle another set of trainers. First up is an Ace Trainer named Jennifer. She does have an interesting squad. She's got a Delibird in there. He uses Present on us, I think, once, but it didn't do anything. I think it just changed our stats slightly. Same thing for the Snubble. Doesn't really stand much of a chance, and we're able to take down the Ace Trainer relatively quickly. Then there are 2 more challenges. We take down the guy Scraggy, and the last person is the Crush Girl. And so now that we've taken that girl down, we only have to deal with Trainer Joshua. And this guy, whew, this one was annoying to say the least. The Mawile eventually is taken out, but he also has a Delibird just like the previous person. And this thing was just annoying more than anything. He does use Present a lot, so there's always a chance that the Present could just be a pain in the ass and just destroy you. But eventually, Techie Joshua is defeated, and now we get another reward. And I've got to be honest, these rewards are my favorite thing ever. Like, they're the most fun thing. So, we get to take a Oshawott with us. That's the reward I decided to go. And I actually gave it to our hiker buddy, which is one of our trainers, because we only have 1 trainer with us so far, but we are going to get more as we keep playing if the option shows up in the upgrades. Either way, this battle was probably one of the most difficult ones, as this person had an Aerodactyl, and I struggled in the beginning of knowing what to do. Eventually, I switched in Snover, and then I figured, okay, well, this is way easier if I just use Snover in this case. He also had a shield on, and we got lucky with the freeze hacks here, and took the buddy down from the camper, leaving only this guy with the Rotom left to go. And same thing here, we're able to just spam a bunch of Ice-type moves, in this case, Powdered Snow, which is able to defeat the Rotom as well. As for our upgrades, I decided, you know what, I'm going to use the Evolution upgrade this time, and we should maybe evolve one of our best buddies, that being Snover himself. So now we have the big Abominable Snowman, Abomasnow. We also get Ice Punch, which is way, way, way stronger, though I will point out that we did give ourselves a special attack boost for Ice-type moves and not a physical attack boost, so it's not as strong as it could have been, but nonetheless, we now have a stronger squad, and now, of course, Abomasnow can do most of the work. So we just keep spamming these Leaf Ages, as well as a bunch of Powdered Snows, and a few Ice Punches, and we're able to take down the Black Belt, as well as a few other trainers. And mostly here, it's just a lot of repetitive battles. It doesn't really get unique until you get a bit further in. So, for the most part here, it's just battle after battle, day after day, trying to make sure we just prepare ourselves for the big battles that happen on special days, because every few days there are a few special battles that happen that are way more important. So it's been 10 days in game, and we've made some good progress. We go to the Pokemon shelter and decide, okay, it's about time we add a Pokemon from the shelter to our squad. So we take and add a Coughing to the team. Specifically, we give it to the Hiker, and now he has a stronger squad to work with. We also check around, and there's this guy in the forest here, and that dude specifically actually can remove Pokemon moves. So if you want to forget a move, you can go to him. This guy also sells a bunch of TMs, so if you need any specific moves that you don't already have, you can go here. And I would recommend going here definitely early on because a lot of the move sets are very cheap. However, today also the item shop has upgraded items. So every few days, the item shop will change and you can check the mailbox to know what's happened and what you can and can't do. We add a few TMs to our Pokemon, and then it's time to take on another day worth of challenges. Except this day, well, it was actually relatively easy. Thanks to Abomasnow having the Ice Punch as well as our Skarmory, we honestly survived pretty solidly, and I decide, okay, it's time to hire another new gym trainer. So now we're gonna have 3 of these guys in our squad, which is great because so far there was only the 2 of us, right? There is the gym leader as well as the other Hiker. So now we have another gym leader in our team, which means we have 3 more chances every time we lose a battle, which is honestly incredible. Not literal attempts, but rather, if, for example, our gym leader here, if we lose our full team in this exact battle, we can always just rely on our other 2 trainers to save us. But that's not always guaranteed. Either way, after taking down that previous Girafarig as well as this Timber, because we struggled against the Girafarig in our first attempt, this time around, it was way easier. Now it's about time we skill up one of our trainers, and I actually decided, okay, well, we can go for Thomas this time. He kind of deserves it. He's been with us since day 1, more or less. So we upgrade him, and you guys can see every time a day passes, you can actually see that they are sitting in the break room together with you, just kind of like taking a breather. But it's time to take on another day worth of challenges, and most of these are just annoying because they are double battles and one of my least favorite things in the world to do. But eventually, after we defeat all of them, we can skill up another one of our trainers. I decide, okay, you know what? We have a few options here. Let's go for the skill up on another one of our Hikers, and now he's level 5, which is really, really strong. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the big day. We go out, defeat a few more trainers, take them all down, give ourselves as many upgrades as we possibly can. For example, you know, cool trainer Nicholas here didn't really stand much of a chance because he had dragon types, which are weak against our ice type moves. And today we get to choose another upgrade. But I decide, okay, we're going to go for something a little bit different today. We're going to go for the ice type attack boost. And now it's going to be a gym challenge. What do I mean by this? Well, basically, on this particular day in the game, there's going to be a gym leader showing up. And if we check the PC, we'll see exactly who is here. We have gym leader Brock. Yes, Brock is here to take us on and try out our gym. We can't lose to him. He's very strong, so we got to be prepared. First out, though, we actually make a big mistake. This Riolu, we're able to hit it. We try to go for the Ice Shard, which almost takes it down. Like, it does so much damage, but it uses counter, which means our moves are just like, I mean, we just get totally destroyed here. Abomasnow is able to survive for a long time and pretty much take down this guy Austin, but it's not enough though. We are able to defeat the camper as well, but eventually though, we do lose our buddy as well, and we have to rely on Skarmory, leaving only 1 battle to go, and that's against Brock. And these are the special battles I mentioned earlier. During these special battles, you get to take on gym leaders, you get even better rewards, and these only happen every few days or so. So I think this was on day 13, 14, or 15. I can't recall exactly where we are right now, but basically, Brock is here, and he starts out with a Cranidos, and here it's mostly just spamming the same moves over and over again, which is Fury Attack. It does take a while, and it's very, very slow, but to be fair with you guys, he didn't really have much of a, I guess, you know, option either. He doesn't really have any moves that would do much to us either, so it's mostly just a battle of endurance, and eventually, with a lot of persistence, we are able to take down the Cranidos. But like I said, it took a long time, and it was genuinely not fun to wait for this thing to actually hit the Fury Attacks and defeat it, but thankfully, we do eventually get the final hit, and Cranidos is gone. But do you think that's it? Nope, he still has a bunch of Pokemon. For example, Sandshrew comes out. In this case, we go for the Gust. Gust is a flying type move, so it's not going to be super effective against this thing. I mean, you know, it's not really much you can do against Sandshrew, so we have to rely on the rest of our squad. Durant, luckily, does have a few moves like Fury Cutter, which are very, very strong and super effective. And thankfully, because our character, our actual trainer, is a higher level, we can do way more. When the Nose Pass comes in, we go for the Fury Cutter again, and eventually, it is able to take down the Nose Pass as well. So, perfectly for us, but not so perfect for Brock, I guess, because he sends out a Tropius of all things. I did not expect this, because Tropius is like, what, flying grass? Which is a weird Pokemon for him to use, but he still used it, so I just keep spamming Fury Cutter because it's going to be still somewhat weak to that. And eventually, though, he uses an Omanyte. Again, a strange Pokemon for him. He may have used it in some old Pokemon games, I'm not really sure, but it doesn't really matter because, ladies and gentlemen, we took him down. And now we get the biggest upgrade. Yes, we actually get to hire... We have an option. We can hire Glacia. Yes, the Elite Four member Glacia is now part of our actual team, and it's day 15 now. So this was the most shocking thing ever. If we talk to her, she's just grateful to be here. It is just super weird because she's in our squad now. She's one of our party members. It's almost like you're playing like Final Fantasy or something, and she has a pretty good team, to be honest with you guys. However, now things will get a little bit depressing. After a few more days of playing, we eventually kind of like decide to buy the EXP share, which is a really useful item, especially because your team will not gain XP, all of them. So you might have a Pokemon that's like level 20 and another one that's like level 3. It's not really the best thing in the world, but eventually though, we do run into a wall. We're dealing with this guy. He's got himself a bunch of different Pokemon. I thought he would just have like, you know, a dragon type or two or whatever, but no, he had an interesting combination of stuff. And eventually we do defeat him and we get another upgrade, but things don't really go our way on the next day. We're able to evolve a few Pokemon, like for example, Beldum here, which is perfect. We're able to evolve it into a Metang, which is, oh, by the way, I don't know about you guys, but I think Beldum has one of the coolest shinies. I love the like silvery metal colored version of it. And after another day of work, we get a Pharaoh Seed. But eventually, ladies and gentlemen, we have another day, and, well, things don't really go as planned on this day. We buy a few TMs, we go back inside, and eventually we lose. We got stuck in this battle, it didn't really go our way, and we end up losing our third attempt. So yes, I lost. But ladies and gentlemen, Gym Manager is a really cool game, and I want you guys to check it out yourself if you haven't already. It's definitely worth a try, and if you guys want to see me do another run on this game and try better, then I will do so. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching.